Hello, and welcome to Curlington Stories. Today we are going to be talking about vegan cats, which is something that I'm sure probably just made you shiver simply at the sound of it. Because the truth is, vegan cats should not exist for obvious reasons. But there are a handful of people out there in the world that think it's perfectly rational to feed a cat a purely vegan diet, which is a little bit counterintuitive considering they're obligate carnivores, but who am I to judge? Somebody who is extremely notorious for this, in fact, one of the vegan activists I talk about on my vegan channel, Vegan Gains. And if you watched my video today, I just talked about him again. He was the one to approve of people eating boars and calling it vegan. Not really sure how that works, but that man's mind is truly an enigma. But the truth is, he fed his cat Prismo a vegan diet, and he only lived about 2 years before perishing on this diet. He died from sudden acute kidney failure. Of course, Vegan Gains tried to act like it had nothing to do with the vegan diet, but he even confessed that when he took Prismo to the vet multiple times, they told him that a cat can't be on a vegan diet, and he basically just called them stupid and did it anyway. So the point is, cats shouldn't be fed a vegan diet, and we'll get into some of the greater details of exactly what happens when you feed a cat a vegan diet, what type of ingredients they're eating, all of that stuff. But before we get to that, let's kick it off with the first of 2 stories. Am I the asshole for telling my stepdaughter she's absolutely under no circumstances allowed to switch out my cat's food for vegan food, even though she's losing weight because the sight of normal cat food makes her sick? I know, what a very lengthy, detailed title, but let's get into it. It'll all make sense soon. Sorry for the appalling title. My stepdaughter is living with my husband and I for the next year. She's an educated young professional who's saving up to buy her own home. Since she's moved in with us within the past 3 months, she's become increasingly snappy and unhappy with how her dad and I run our lives. We aren't environmentally conscious enough because we don't compost our waste. We are negligent because we leave lights on when we leave our home for security reasons. We should switch to electric cars. We're contributing to the inhumane treatment of cows by consuming dairy. The list is endless. You know, honestly, when they said compost the waste, I was thinking of Freely, the banana girl, which some of you guys probably aren't that familiar with, but she was a vegan activist that's been on YouTube for a long time. And she lives out like in the outback. She lives like, you know, in the forest kind of. And composting their waste made me think of, you know, their waste, because that's what they do with their waste. If you know, you know. Anyway, I quickly realized that's not what they meant. Moving on. My cat Mango is getting to be an old ass man, and he has lived a full life of eating whatever the he likes, obviously within what's safe for a cat. And he's happy that way. My stepdaughter is now insisting she will purchase vegan cat food because seeing Mango eat meat makes her sick. Well, that's not totally selfish at all, is it? Make the cat suffer so that you can suffer a little less. Great idea. We feed him in the kitchen and she will literally throw up. Wretch, leave the kitchen if she sees him eat meat. She has lost a lot of weight since claiming that seeing Mango eat meat makes her sick, and we leave out dry biscuits for him to snack on, which also makes her sick. It's not like we leave mess out, even if she smells his food in the air, which is gross, yeah, but the doors are open and that's just life if you have a pet. She will heave and walk away. To me, she sounds extremely dramatic. I mean, my wife kind of heaves a little bit sometimes when I open some particularly smelly cat food, but she'll just go to another room like a normal individual, just go to a different room and like, that's it, you know, that's really the end of it. But no, this like, she's pulling some theatrics here. She's trying to make you guys feel bad. She's like, oh, look at me throwing up, the cat food's so gross, looks like you're gonna have to change it. Poor Mango's gonna have to suffer and eat vegan cat food. That sucks for him. See, that's an issue with some vegan folks sometimes, is sometimes they lose sight of what's important when it comes to the ideology of protecting all animals. Feeding the cat a vegan diet is definitely not in tune with the idea of protecting all animals. That animal's health and well-being should be at the forefront, and in no delusional world is it correct to feed a cat a vegan diet in the best interest of their health. It's just not true. Her dad and I both told her if she's unhappy with it, she needs to find someplace else to live. And although we are genuinely sorry she's lost her appetite and has lost weight, we aren't going to change Mango's lifestyle. She has yelled, cursed at us, cried, begged, etc. But no, we are not happy with Mango eating a vegan diet. We don't feed him cheap crap either. We feed him food quality cat food that isn't processed or full of sugar or grain. It's pretty much gourmet Gordon Ramsay worthy cat food. Good on you. Your cat Mango sounds absolutely spoiled rotten. They deserve only the best that you can give them. And let me just tell you right now, vegan cat food ain't that. My mother-in-law has wadded in after my stepdaughter, told her we were being unfair by refusing to let Mango go on her preferred diet for him, and is accusing us of being cruel and short-sighted. She says we are letting her get sick, and that Mango won't hurt from a change in diet, but stepdaughter is hurting. Stepdaughter's not hurting, your stepdaughter is extremely selfish. She's the short-sighted one, thinking, well, the cat food makes me feel sick, therefore your cat should suffer by eating vegan food. Like, that is bizarre. Now, I know she's convinced herself in her delusional mind that a cat can be perfectly healthy on vegan food. That is just incorrect. We'll get into the weeds of that shortly, but it is really important to know of what the substitutes are in vegan cat food. It's a list of things that are not good for your cat. It's a list of things that actually can contribute to sudden acute kidney failure, which is exactly what happened to Vegan Gains' cat, Prismo. So effectively, she's giving you an ultimatum. Either choose to have your cat suffer on a vegan diet or allow him to continue to be healthy. Those are your choices right now. And I think most people are gonna go with choose cat to be healthy. Because it's also confusing as to like, why is she like constantly around the cat food? Like, you feed your cat a couple times a day. Sometimes, you know, some people feed them a higher amount, maybe 4 or 5 times, small portions, of course. But generally, you're not feeding your cat like 10 times a day where it's just always cat food smell, you know? Why can't she just like eat when the cat isn't eating? It's not like that smell is just gonna constantly be there. She's making it more than what it is. She's being extremely dramatic. So you probably wanna know what my verdict is. You're not the asshole original poster for denying her. You absolutely should stand your ground and be firm. Your pet is important to you. There shouldn't be this ultimatum of me or your cat. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, that's so unbelievably ungrateful. And sometimes these people act like this. The crazed vegan people out there, where they really push their agendas on everyone and everything and every animal that they come in contact with. They really think that cats should be vegan, which is just mind-boggling. It's also quite dangerous, which is why my vegan channel exists. You know, I'm always debunking these sort of things because this sort of approach to animals and humans is actually quite dangerous. It's quite harmful. And they have no problem completely destroying relationships for their agenda. And it's disturbing, but it's reality. So no, original poster here, not the asshole. I absolutely would have done the same thing. Stand your ground, stand firm. Don't change your lifestyle choices for somebody else, especially when they're benefiting from the kindness that you are sharing onto them. Like, how ungrateful can they possibly be? All right, now here's another cat doozy. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister out of my house because she refuses to stop feeding my cat vegan food? Oh boy, that is annoying, but let's see how this story unfolds. Okay, buckle up everyone. I, 29 male, have a beautiful cat named Whiskers. He's been my partner in crime for over 8 years, and I love him more than anything in the world. Recently, my sister, 25F, moved in with me temporarily while she looked for a new job and apartment because of a rough breakup. No biggie, right? Family helps family. Here's the problem. My sister has decided that she is a cat whisperer and has taken it upon herself to start feeding Whiskers vegan cat food because she thinks it's better for his health and the planet. I'm gonna interrupt real quick. What is the logic here? If biology makes it abundantly clear that your animal is a carnivore, how could it ever make sense that feeding them the opposite of that is actually the healthier choice? Like, do you understand the lapse in logic there? Like, your car is designed to run off oil, for instance. I don't think putting water in there is going to have the same effect. Anyway, let's continue. First of all, Whiskers is a straight up carnivore. We all know cats need meat. I've told her repeatedly that it's not healthy for him. He literally only wants to eat the chicken flavored treats I buy him. But she just smirks and tells me I'm being closed-minded. They're just so annoying. It got to the point where I caught her sneaking vegan cat food into his bowl while I was in the next room. So in a fit of rage, I lost it. I told her she had 2 options: stop this insanity or get out. She chose option 2, and now she's saying I'm heartless for kicking her out over a cat's diet. Yeah, Yeah, that shows a problem. Like, let's back off of what you think about him for a moment. Let's talk about you. You were willing to give up the home that you were staying at because the cat wasn't being fed vegan food. Are you serious? Like, that is just degenerate lunacy. Like, it is so confusing how people like this get to this point where they're willing to sacrifice the important things in their lives for shit like this, for feeding a cat a vegan, for pressing your agenda on others. Like, it's bizarre. I wish more of these types of people would learn that their lifestyle choices for themselves and them alone, and not a single other person around them has to adhere to it. It would make things so much simpler for themselves and for everybody around them. Anyway, I'm furious that she thinks she knows better than me when it comes to my cat's health. I mean, she's literally willing to risk his well-being to push her absurd lifestyle on him. Am I the asshole for choosing my cat over my sister? Absolutely not. You are not the asshole. I would have done the same thing. I have 2 cats, in fact, and they both eat very non-vegan friendly meals. I'll tell you that much. I mean, they eat some fairly high quality wet food. They do eat like a kibble too. And then I also feed them food that I cook for them, like chicken, sometimes salmon, other types of fish, and they love it. You know, I would never feed my cats vegan food. Now let's talk about some of the ingredients that actually go into vegan cat food. So the biggest brand that makes vegan cat food, they shouldn't even be allowed to do this. I don't even know why they're allowed to exist. It's called Benevol. So this is it right here. This is the caticide that so many vegans have been raving about for years. And I'm sure you're curious, guys. What are the contents? What are the ingredients of this miracle cat food that's supposed to be healthier than, you know, what should be their main source of food, meat? Well, let's take a look, shall we? Soya, wheat, maize gluten meal, rice, maize as well again, which I'm pretty sure is like corn. So those are the most prevalent ingredients inside of this vegan cat food. And what you'll realize is that pretty much all of them are actually terrible for cats. Trust me, I've done greater research than just a Google search on this already on my main channel. But this is from an article, Can Cats Have Soy? And the response here is, despite the benefits that soy can provide, it is just too risky an ingredient. No matter where it was grown, soy contains phytates that stops the absorption of minerals and can block enzymes needed to digest protein. In cats, this often causes liver damage or failure. And then this is from AI. I hate using an AI as a source, but while soy provides protein, it's generally not recommended as a primary protein source for cats. Cats are obligate carnivores, meaning their bodies are adapted to digest and utilize animal-based proteins more efficiently. Soy can cause digestive issues, hormonal imbalances, and potentially contribute to hyperthyroidism in some cats. And then that's just soy. Obviously, here's the AI answer again, hate using it, but while wheat isn't a primary component of a cat's diet, it's not inherently harmful in small amounts and can provide some benefits. Cats can digest wheat and it can be a source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals. However, cats are obligate carnivores and thrive on a diet primarily consisting of animal protein. And this goes for pretty much all of those top ingredients. It's things along these lines of like, hey, in small amounts, it's okay, but cats aren't really meant to digest these proteins and these nutrients from these sources. And the fact of the matter is, doing this as a primary source of food for your cat is a surefire way to make sure they don't live long, and which is exactly what happened to Prismo. And when you look at that ingredient list, what you need to understand is those ingredients, the ones that are at the top, are the most prevalent ingredients. It even said soy should not be a primary source of protein for cats. What was that in that ingredients list? The primary source of protein. So it goes without saying. I know you guys probably didn't need that education because I'm sure most of you watching this are smart enough to understand that cats are obligate carnivores and therefore should eat meat, and that's just the end of the story. But it goes much deeper into explaining why it's so bad for cats to be eating a vegan diet. So when people like this try to push this onto other people, it's not even just their own animals, they're pushing it onto other people's animals. It's a problem. It's disgusting and it's despicable. It's like they don't actually care for the animal at all. It's something very, very different than what they're pretending it is. But anyway, y'all, that's it for this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time.